He's never won a championship in WWE. Everybody felt he was so badly wronged by being suspended after grabbing Vince McMahon on national television after that Daniel Bryan deal. It doesn't fucking matter who has the U.S. title. I think that's well established after the Kalisto run. You can always beat the guy the next day, the next week. You can beat him at Battleground. Would it be the end of the world for Titus to win the U.S. title on Father's Day with his kids in the crowd? Now, the reason I knew that it wasn't going to happen by the time the pay-per-view rolled around is apparently my show is the only goddamn show where they built up the fact that he was the mega dad of the year fighting for the U.S. title on Father's Day at the pay-per-view. Because they didn't do a fucking thing in WWE. There was no mention of it by the announcers. If there was, they certainly didn't play it up. It was just kind of like, his kids are here, Father's Day, he's never won a title. I mean, they really could have made a big deal out of this and made a happy ending to this whole deal for one day.
You know what's really amazing about this? This is the same company that just a few months ago said, you know what? We've got a plan for this Intercontinental title, but it would be a great moment if Zack Ryder won the title at WrestleMania.
Exactly, and he lost.
And 24 hours later, they took it off him.
Their fucking Intercontinental Champion is on a movie set. He's on a movie set in Vancouver right now. Their U.S. champion was a tag team guy that never defended the goddamn belt. And for one day, they can't put the title on the Mega Dad of the Year on Father's Day. It doesn't matter, but it just seemed like a missed opportunity. Listen, everybody, I love Rusev too. There's no bigger Rusev fan than me, except Lana. I love the man, but he can drop the title. It's not the end of his fucking career.
So I do want to make note, on a positive side, it may have actually been before the match began, officially before the bell rang. Before about 3 seconds, this was the best match I've ever seen in my entire life. Because Rusev comes out, he goes over to Titus's sons in the first row, he is harassing them. And then he looks across the ring, and Titus is also out of the ring, but on the other side. And they eyeball each other, and these two big, giant, scary mofos snarl and charge at each other, and they collide, running as fast as they can, as violently as they can with a double clothesline. Both guys go flying up in the air. Both guys go crashing down to earth. It was amazing. And then they had a slow, boring match.
Oh.
I wish I should have been more careful about the exact time, but here's what my notes read about this. Titus looks totally blown up. Meanwhile, Cavs win, Cavs win, Cavs win. Rusev won with the accolade. It may have been a minute in between the finish of the basketball game and the finish of this match.
Ziggler was in the back, losing his shit.
I'm sure that's true.
Going crazy.
I'm sure Miz was losing his shit in Vancouver.
He was.
And God bless him, by the way.
Ohio, by the way.
A good night for the state of Ohio.
Ohio has a WWE, a UFC, and an NBA champion right now. What a time to be alive if you're an Ohioan.
And I am not honestly sure which of these is least likely. The Cavaliers as NBA champions or Jon Moxley as WWE champion. But anyway, so with the game safely over, Rusev grabs a mic. He approaches Titus's kids. Says, look at your father. He is a loser. Happy Father's Day!
What a dick.
He was a great dick here.
Somebody on Twitter noted that the kids didn't look like they cared all that much. And the other funny thing about the Titus interview was, I can't remember the question that I asked him, but he was explaining to me that his children didn't like to see him lose, and he didn't like to see his kids lose at sports. But he had explained to them what wrestling was, and that, quote, no records are kept.
So he's not aware of Pro Fight DB.
He apparently is not. I should have alerted him. Actually, Mr. O'Neill, there are records kept.
And yours sucks.
Yeah, you're not doing too well this year.
No.
That doesn't mean you can't win. Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title at Mania. There's hope for you.
Anyone can be the better man on any given night. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. So the fans were split on Seth, but they all hated Roman. So Roman's been getting, let's charitably say, mixed reactions for how long has it been? A year and a half? 2 years?
Been a long time.
Outright hated and booed tonight. Seth has always been a heel for virtually his entire run. I guess the Shield had it right before they broke up. They were baby faces. But anyway, he was a heel champion, and then he loses his title due to injury. They do the great babyface video that's online. Then he comes back, still a heel. Then he wrestles this match. And if you watch this match, and you didn't listen to the crowd, and you didn't know any of the build-up, you would assume this Roman guy is a complete heel, and this Seth is a hero.
Well, let's break it down a little further. Seth comes back, and they make sure that his first Raw back, he explains to everybody that he's still a bad guy and he hates everybody. Then they air the video on the WWE Network after he has proclaimed himself a heel, which makes him out to be the biggest babyface in the entire company. He remains a heel on television. Then they air an edited version of it on Raw, which also makes him look like the biggest babyface in the world. They still push him as a heel, and then here on this show, he wrestles as a total babyface.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Roman is manhandling him in the corner, saying, "Are you sure you're ready? You came back too soon." Order him to get up.
Roman Reigns as a heel,
So much
working
better.
heel, is such a fucking gigantic improvement. He works better. He's got a better attitude. He was so much better in this match, playing a dick, than as a goofy babyface. I mean, look at the guy. A babyface in peril? Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
So they had, I mean this in the best possible way, they had an ugly brawl for a long time. Just guys hitting each other. Just, I fucking hate you, and I want you to die, and I'm going to hit you.
If you've been listening to the Retro Raws and you've been following along watching, Shawn Michaels came back from a knee injury and was the best guy in the world on his very first night back. I think that Seth Rollins had the same idea that I'm going to come back. It wasn't his first match. He did some house show matches, but I'm going to come back here on this pay-per-view, my first major televised match back, and I'm going to be the best wrestler in the world. And I feel that he tried too hard. I think that he went too fast. I think he tried too many things. There was a chain wrestling segment that maybe I was the only guy in the world that noticed it, but it was such a hilarious disaster. It was like he totally, all of a sudden, forgot how to chain wrestle.
How to arm wringer.
He did an arm wringer on the wrong arm backwards. Yes. And then he tried to reverse it, and then he just let go of the arm and grabbed the other arm.
And the whole time, Roman was looking at him like, what in the fuck are you doing?
I didn't know what he was doing. Roman didn't know what he was doing. Seth didn't know what he was doing, and finally tried to get back on track. He was moving a lot. He was doing the Daniel Bryan, I'm going to test my injured body part. Never do that. There's a reason Daniel Bryan is not here anymore.
Yes.
And it's not only because he tested his neck, obviously, but as soon as he said that he was going to test out his injured body part, it was like, don't do that. There's no reason to test out if your knee can handle it. What if you fail the test? He did the same sunset flip powerbomb where he hurt himself.
The exact same spot.
All of these flips to the outside, landing on his feet, which is not what you necessarily want to do if you've got bad knees.
No.
I have great respect for the man, but he's got to slow down or he's going to get hurt again.
So this was very much the WWE main event style of the recent, 5 years or so of, by the end, it's a lot of big move, kick out, lie there. Big move, kick out, lie there. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And it's funny because we're seeing Superman punches, we're seeing spears, we're seeing Seth's jump and knee strike. But Seth was never able to hit that pedigree. Now, that's it. They are saving this for the end. And finally, they go outside. Seth is outside for a long-ass time. And he appeared to be calling the announcers or something. So Roman goes outside, and he goes to hit the spear through the barricade, but Seth dodges. Roman goes through the barricade on his own. Doctors come out to check on Roman to make sure he's okay, but Seth interrupts them and throws him back into the ring. And Cole is screaming, he has to do this. Because, you see, you can't win a title via ref stoppage. We had another ref bump, second on the show. Roman hit a spear and Seth kicked out. Roman goes right to try another spear, and as he runs across the ring, Seth grabs him, hits a pedigree in mid-move. That was so awesome.
You know, I hate the rule that you can't win a title on a referee stoppage, but the whole reason that you can't win a title via DQ is a rule dating from like the 1930s, where there was a very famous title change where one of the guys bit himself, and the referee saw the bite mark, he disqualified the opponent, and it was a world title change. And so from that point forward, no DQs in championship matches. And I think their concern is they're very safety conscious right now. And I don't think they want a situation where their world heavyweight champion is in a match with Zack Ryder on TV, and he suffers a concussion, and you have to stop the match and give the title to Zack Ryder. It is completely ridiculous, but I think that that's why they do that. And I thought the pedigree was wacky.
I thought it was cool.
The spirit of the pedigree?
Yes.
Very wacky.
Well, the good news for you is Roman, they finally hit it, and Roman kicks out anyway. So Seth just did what I wish guys would do more often. Do it again. He hit the pedigree anyway, and this time Roman doesn't kick out.
Yeah.
So it was a very good match. To be honest, this probably would have been the best match on a lot of shows, but it was the third best match on this show. So Seth is celebrating when Dean's music hits. The place goes nuts. Seth is ready. He's got his belt in his hand, ready to defend himself. He is looking up the aisleway. He has a big smile on his face, saying, "Come on out, fucker, I'm ready for you now." And Dean comes through the crowd and waffles him with the briefcase.
No, they had hit him under the ring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like since the ladder match?
No, he came out right before the main event.
I see. Okay, yeah, I've seen guys do that before.
Yeah.
All right, so Dean cashes in. The bell rings. And then here, as my notes read, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Dean hit Dirty Deeds and pinned him, and John fucking Moxley is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, he is.
And I would like to remind you all how stupid I am. Because when they signed him, I was the one who said, I don't know why they signed him. I don't think John Moxley's a good fit in this company. Reminder, I'm dumb.
Little did you know.
Very happy to be proven dumb, by the way.
Yeah, the place goes absolutely crazy. Now, do I think this is the end of Roman Reigns as the champion? No.
No.
I would guess it. I mean, they've been teasing it forever. I thought they're going very hard teasing this Shield three-way. This will surely be a SummerSlam main event. Apparently, it's going to be Battleground.
See, that's why I asked you what pay-per-view was next.
Yeah.
Because you would think they have never done, I guess they did a four-way with Orton, but they have never done a three-way with the Shield members for the world title in the pay-per-view main event. And you would think you'd want to see that for SummerSlam. I'm not sure how they get around that.
Well, it is weird because we do have Battleground coming up, which is on July 24th. So Battleground takes place after the draft, which I believe is July 8th or something like that. So I don't know if this means that all three guys are going to be on the same brand or if they're going to do it before the draft or if it'll just be like, I mean, I don't know how they would do it, but we do need another world champion. We need a champion for Raw. We need a champion for SmackDown. I don't know how they could do it here where somehow you do some sort of match with these guys and it ends up with two champions. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got a lot of weird stuff coming. And I have absolutely no idea how any of this plays in anything. But that's a fun thing in WWE where you have no idea where things are going, but you know they're going somewhere.
I don't know if this is their plan all along or this is a reaction to the poor ratings, but the show has needed a shakeup, and it has been shaken up.
It's definitely been shaken up. So yeah, that was the main event. Dean Ambrose is your champion. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, all champions on the same night. I think, obviously, the big one is the Shield reunion that they're going to do one of these days. The Shield three-way is obviously going to be a big deal, but I don't know if it'll be this WrestleMania or when, but one of these days, these guys are all going to be baby faces, and they're all going to reunite for the Shield reunion, and that's going to be a real big deal. For those of you that think that there's nothing going on in WWE that is anything special or can be saved, that's one that's special and could be saved. But they are going to the three-way earlier than I expected, and I guess we will know more on Raw tomorrow. Also, I want to mention on Twitter, Renee Young, apparently Dean Ambrose did not tell her that he was going to win the title.
Oh, really?
Because based on her tweets, her mind was blown. So, yeah. There you go.
Final note for the night. I'm looking here online, and in the Cleveland Cavaliers locker room, here's Kevin Love wearing an Austin 316 t-shirt, pouring two beers over his head.
I thought it was Sami Zayn.
Well, to be fair, all I can see is beard. His face is obscured by beer. So,
Maybe
anyway.
Sami Zayn.
Quite a night.
All right, everybody, that's it from here. Dave and I are going to be back later with a lot more to talk about. And Vinny and I back on Tuesday, Retro Raw and Retro Nitro. All of their shows.